Sorry guys, this is my first ever, I guess, Facebook multiple deals going live at once. Okay. Alright, so if you're joining Instagram, hello. I believe the camera is also recording now, so should be everything. Alright, so it's been a while since I did a video for DASO Photo, and I wanted to do something. I figured I'd share it on some other platforms as well. I wanted to talk about my large format camera today. I've been so some of you guys who've seen this probably a long time ago. I built this camera, and what I found was the original bellows that I was using, which I also made. You can kind of hear that. That's just how rigid this whole thing was. So the problem was it wasn't letting me compress far enough to get to really be able to hone my focus, and it was resisting every time that thought I got my focus set. The bellows would kind of fight back and just slightly push things out of focus. So I did a little research and found some really old articles, and I built what's called a bag bellows. It's kind of a stiff fabric. It's layered. It's a blackout fabric inside, and then this is just a kind of a heavy canvas on the exterior. But what it allows me to do, which is really cool, is I can smush this thing, and I can leave it like that, and there's no resistance. And what that allows me to do is really set my focus and be tack sharp with it. I like the idea of that I built this camera, and that it works really well, and I've used it, and I've done some portrait work with it, and I've started shooting landscapes with it recently, and I just love it. I wanted to share that with you guys, but I also wanted to show you, here's a couple of, this isn't going to show super well because this is a glossy paper. It was kind of a test print, but see if I can get this in there. It shoots, man, you really can't see it on this, but the depth of field in here is just really beautiful. That's a picture from Big Bend. When I went, me and my brother took a 4-wheel drive trip there last year, and I did some large format photography over there. And then this is one of my favorites. It's the jawbone of a deer, and I shot this in a studio I built, natural light studio, and it's just one of those things where, in fact, this was one of the first photographs I made with it. And what I love about it is it forces you to really slow down, and there's no click with this camera. It's essentially, it's a single, I get one shot at making an image really, and then by the time I have to set up to take another shot, it could potentially be minutes later. And in regards to landscape, everything has changed. But if you guys follow that link I posted in the About This Live feed notes, these are both going to be available in a limited edition print. Each one will be in a 1 of 25 series, so there'll be 25 of these and 25 of these, and they'll be signed, numbered. You can purchase a mat with it also, and you can also purchase a frame if you so choose. And if you were to buy the mat and the frame, to me, it would be specifically done to fit that print. Those prints are slightly different in size by about 1/4 of an inch, and the frames would also be made custom to fit those as well. So in addition to that, there's going to be a growing library of fine art prints for me. have fallen in love with this camera and what it does, and I really want to explore its capabilities. And a lot of those explorations are going to be for sale in limited editions. And then also, if you're local here to Austin, I'm going to be doing, in fact starting now, $60 will get you a portrait from this camera. It'll get you a 5x7 print of that portrait. You know what, no, let's do an 8x10. We'll do an 8x10 on Fuji matte paper. So here are, what I love about this paper is, like when I just showed that, those small prints of the fine art ones, that's kind of glossy. The actual prints that will come on is on a bamboo archival paper, and it will last essentially forever. It'll definitely outlive you and probably your children, and it has a very nice kind of velvet texture to it. It's not glossy at all, which I love. I hate walking up to a print, especially in a gallery, and not really being able to see what it is because of glare. So those fine art prints will come on a bamboo stock paper. It's really beautiful. And then the portraits, I'm going to do an 8x10, it'll be black and white. So what happens is I shoot a 4x5 negative, which essentially the negative is the same size as what you're looking at here. And then I scan it, I do all the retouching, and then I'll print on this Fuji crystal archival matte paper. So you can see there's no sheen on this at all, which I love. But yeah, guys, if you're local here, especially here to Austin, and I'll be offering that as well in California when I travel, but it'll be $60 and you'll get an 8x10 print, and really beautiful, something you could give to your family. There will obviously be options with that to, if you wanted to purchase a larger print, you could do that. There'll just be some cost differences. But so if anybody has any questions, hit me up. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's something that everyone can really grasp onto. And what you're going to find is we're going to shoot a single portrait that we really take our time crafting and lighting and figuring out what's going to look best and represent you the best. And I'll get to talk to you and get to know you a little bit in those few minutes and set something up that represents who you are. And then you're going to have a beautiful photograph to be able to, give to your kids, to your wife, hang on your wall at your office. So thank you guys for joining me. I know this is kind of a long feed for being a first one about, what essentially is just a big camera, but thank you guys for joining me, and I hope to book some of you guys soon and do some beautiful portrait work. Thank you very much, and check out the fine art prints as well. Cool. Thank you guys.